Hey, this is lifetime Cowboys fan Jim Saxton with Jim Saxton State Farm. You want insurance knowledge and old school service? Give us a call.
It's weird. Like, I got a 4-year-old now. I'm like, shoot, it makes me feel old. And some coaches are like, you got a 4-year-old now? I'm like, yeah, you're old too, but.
How about that? Birthdays galore at Cowboys Camp. MC and I, a late one on that.
Yes.
I forget what day night this is. Wednesday night. You're 2 hours behind.
Oh, man.
For you, for Jerry Jones, for the Cowboys, we'll stay up late.
There you go. The late show.
Hey, before we get going, on this final installment, all good things come to an end. We'll figure out another reason to do.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Series of episodes.
Most definitely.
Our guy Jim Saxton, State Farm, really appreciate him for making this happen for MC and myself. Before we dive into the week that has been a lot, actually, you came back from Jerry's Fiesta, which is every year. And tell the story about you saw him tonight and you brought up an old photo from his very first availability here.
Yeah. And I really don't think, I'm not being facetious when I say this, and this is before the phone cameras, okay? I mean, they weren't around back then. I think this will be the only picture of Jerry's first Dallas Cowboys media celebration. His first year in Austin. He and I and my other partner in crime, Hugh Lewis, we were friendly with Jerry his first couple of years. I mean, and would hang out with Jerry on 6th Street and whatever. And we took a picture with him. And my buddy found it about 2 years ago, and he sent it to me. And I didn't get a chance to approach him last year with it. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to the party. I'm going to find that picture. Of course, it ain't never there when you need it. So what I did was I put it on a screen. I screenshot it, And so, okay, it's going to be there when I just boom. And so he was talking holding court, as Jerry does, most popular guy in there. I said, oh, hey, Jerry, look at this picture. This is me and you and my buddy Hugh from your first Dallas Cowboy Training Camp in Austin and your first media party. And he had a very visual reaction. Oh man, that's a quote. Oh man. And I said, that's at Hooters. He said, well, we've come a long way from Hooters, haven't we? And he says, well, how come I still look the same, but you guys have aged? I said, well, you know what? That's a good point. So that means you got to take a picture with me for an updated version of how we look. Let's do it. So my buddy Arthur, he took the picture of us, and I'll post it and put it side by side so everybody can see. But it was cool because the way he is now is the way he was then. That's my takeaway. That is my takeaway, and I mean that in a very good way. I like Jerry Jones a lot. I think most of us do. Yeah. When he was asked, I think I brought it up in our last session. He was asked or so told, you're so optimistic about stuff. Do you ever think about the things that didn't go right for you, or the negative things? He's like, why would I want to think about something negative? I can have all the people in the world tell me it ain't gonna work. I'm gonna give it a shot anyway. You gotta admire somebody like that.
Yeah, because
he's doing it his way. He's not being intimidated into not doing it. No, I'm going to do it. What if you fail? I'll just try it again. That's Jerry Jones. And so kudos to him. Great party. Troy Aikman was there. Al Michaels was there. Michael Smith. Remember Michael Smith from ESPN?
Yes, I
do.
He
was with Jamil Hill. He and I got a chance to visit. I met him tonight for the first time. So, man, I missed you seeing on the air, and we got a chance to chat it up a little bit. It was a nice party. Then it was like, AC, you ready to go? Yeah, let's go. Let me tell somebody goodbye. No, dude, you don't. When you leave a party, you don't go tell nobody goodbye. You just leave.
Irish goodbye.
Yeah, let them wonder where's Arthur. Let them wonder. But if you tell them, they're not gonna be wondering about you. So that's the way we did it. And I'm glad we didn't take the bus to the party because they're thinking like, let's drive so we can leave when we want to leave. And that's what we were able to do. So it was good times. It was a good camp. I think it's probably my most productive camp since I've been covering these things. I think part of it is, when you do something new, you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and years go by, and you kind of like, okay, I've been to this rodeo. I don't need a whole bunch. I don't need to tell the photographer to shoot everything. To kind of minimize, get what we need, and we'll just kind of pace our way through this. And that's what we did with this particular camp. And I think that's the first time I've had that mindset to do it this way. I will tell you this. Did an impromptu interview. I'm good with impromptu interviews. I got a phone. I'm going to talk to. I got a phone. I'm going to talk to somebody. And last week it was Nate Newton. This time it was Mike McCarthy. So McCarthy, my little station that I edit, he always walks by, boom, 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 and I start speaking to him. Hey, Mike. Hey, Coach. No, I don't call him Mike. Hey, Coach. Hey, how you doing? You're up friendly. And see, we have a Kansas connection. I don't know if I told you that. So,
the small college, right?
Yeah, and he don't know this story. And then he's talking boxing in one of his pressers because he's a big boxing fan. Sugar Ray Leonard's his favorite boxer. And so I say, hey, Coach, when he's walking by, he said, yeah, what's up? I said, check out this shirt. I have my Ali shirt, one of my Ali shirts on. He goes, oh man, is that? Oh, I love that shirt. And he's kind of digging it. I say, hey, Coach, I know I got to go through protocol, but I want to get with you for like just 3 to 5 minutes, just to get to talk to you away from football. No, sure, just let me know. And so Arthur's like, you're gonna talk to the PR people? I said, no, I don't want to bother them with that. They got more important things to do. I said, what's going to happen? I'll know when it's right. So it became right last Thursday. Still at my station doing my thing, and I'm like, Coach. He said, yeah. I said, listen, can I get with you just right now? I mean, all I need is 3 minutes. Yeah, we can do it. I put up my phone, boom, talked to him about how more relaxed he appears to be, which he said I am. Talked to him about what was the other thing we talked about? Oh, the connection we have with Kansas and the whole bit. And this is the nugget I found out. I haven't posted it yet. His daughter goes to KU in my hometown. And so now when he sees me, he rock chalks me every time. Hey, rock chalk, J-Hawk. That's what he does every time he sees me now. And you did something worthy. I don't know if it's impressive, but it's worthy. It's gonna work for me. When one of the local sports anchors, Mike Ducey, great guy. Yeah. What'd you talk to him about? And I just kind of laid out what I'm telling you. I said, pretty good, dude, because he don't just do that to anybody, And he lives in Dallas, so he knows that. So I was kind of patting myself inside on the back, saying, "Oh yeah,
you should."
Okay. Yeah, okay, this is really, really cool. And I sent but his photographer, one of my best friends in the world, Chris is his name.
Mm-hmm.
I was in his wedding. He was my sports photographer back in the day. We're really close. And he and I and his wife, my wife. And he took a picture of me talking to McCarthy, and so he sent it to me. And I'm gonna put it on Facebook and say something about the KU for my hometown folks and all that. And now she'll be like, hey, so you're Mike McCarthy's daughter. How'd you find out? Hey, don't worry about that. But you must know a guy from here outed you, So yeah, that was a pleasant get. There's a pleasant get.
That's some of the best stories is when people real spots real.
Yeah.
In every situation.
Yeah.
And you're authentic. That's how it works. And that, it just takes a little effort, but not to be like everybody else.
Well, and I didn't want to talk football because I do that with him every day at 10 o'clock in the morning. That's you and me just spend 3 minutes away from football and talk about you. Because one thing about people, they like talking about themselves. And you open the door. Yeah. Well, you open the door and let them talk about themselves. They'll tell you everything you didn't even think about asking. And that's a good thing.
That's a beautiful thing. And
unless they're a serial killer, they're not going to tell you that.
No.
They're going to tell you that. They're going to tell you everything. Well, yeah.
You might be like OJ and then give little hints throughout. But that's a whole nother story. We don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
You're right about that.
Yeah. So your MC's, your perspective on camp, you pretty much delivered it. We'll start from a new addition to the Cowboys defense, a veteran linebacker.
Yeah, I mean, now I was unaware they had been in talks and they had him on the radar. I did not know that. Saw that on social media, Twitter. But as I said in my sportscast, Cowboys got a new player, but it's not a wide receiver. It's a linebacker. But yeah, they got a linebacker. You know, they signed him for 1 year. I remember Anthony Barr. I think he's a pretty good rush specialist. And I think without having to say it on their end, they're trying to find somebody that can at least be half as adequate as Randy Gregory.
That's a good point.
Because they're missing him. You're going to have Micah rushing. You're going to have number 90, DeMarcus Lawrence, breathing fire down the quarterback's neck. You might as well get 3 of them that can do it.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe they don't feel there's anybody right now who can do it, and they would just assume let's get somebody who's experienced at doing this, a former All-Pro who's been in this game, who knows it. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, paying them like I say only, but they're paying like $1 million, I think, 1.2,
that's
something like that.
Some change for NFL.
Yeah.
So you've seen Malik Jefferson. He's from the Mesquite area outside of Dallas. Was a great high school linebacker. Played at Texas. I think he started off for 3 years. The Cowboys acquired him in the offseason. Is he that same role as Barr, or from what you've seen, or?
I now that you mention it, he may have been brought in to do a little pushing.
Okay.
To wake somebody up. You know, I mean, it's not going to cost him anything to bring somebody in to do just that. It's kind of like the kicker situation. These kickers are missing. I'm not going to let sugarcoat it.
I don't get this.
These two. They got 2 kickers, Jonathan Garibay, and I can't pronounce the other guy's name, but I think he's a young guy, but I think he's a Canadian football player too. But I'll say this. What I like about this camp? Okay, like when Washington went down, the receiver.
Yeah.
Jerry's like, there's no sense of urgency because we got young guys that can. I think that they're not panicking, they're not freaking out, and you know why? Because it's only week 2 of training camp.
Great.
All right, that's all it is. It's week 2 of training camp. So with the wide receiver situation, they're having faith in those guys, and then with the linebacker situation, it's like, let's try these guys out. Let's just see what happens. So there's going to be guys who, if they're not careful and they're not picking up the slack, they're going to get their feelings hurt.
Yeah. There's
a wide receiver named TJ Vasher.
Ohio State, right?
I think he's a Texas Tech kid. I might have his name wrong. I've got my roster here. His name is TJ Vasher. I believe he's Texas Tech. And tall, long, lanky guy. And, Texas Tech, undrafted free agent, 21. He made a dynamite catch, corner of the end zone, just snagged it out of the air. People went crazy. And even CeeDee Lamb said, don't fall asleep on this guy. This guy's having a good camp. And when he made that catch, whereas no one was trying to talk to him before with a microphone, he was the guy on that day. Well, the microphones were shoved in his face. And those who got video of it put it on social media, on Twitter, and it got a lot of views. So the TJ Vasher is his name, tall, long guy. Who else? You've got, the Turpin kid, Kevontae Turpin, the USFL MVP. They like him a lot. Yeah, he's like 5'9", 155, 157. Scat back. Punt returns are going to be his specialty probably. I mentioned Pollard being involved in the passing game. Michael Gallup held court with the media. He might not be until October, if then, before he comes back. So you look at it, they get rid of Amari Cooper. Gallup is injured. You bring in James Washington. Washington gets injured. Gallup is still injured. So you're down. You're down 2 wide receivers, 2 experienced wide receivers. So these youngins are going to have to grow up real fast.
See, that's you mentioned that about the James Washington injury. For those who you probably are aware who he is, he played about 5 or 6 years in the league.
Yeah,
from Oklahoma State. So CeeDee Lamb, he mentioned that, and you were part of this media circle, if you will, around CeeDee Lamb, and this is what he had to say about that, and pretty much alluded to the younger receivers. He's not concerned, it sounds like, but he says they have no choice.
I mean, I don't think that changes anything as far as the focal point. But I mean, losing a guy like that is always tough. You know, you never wish an injury on anyone, and then especially a major one like that.
Does this mean the younger receivers kind of need to step up soon?
Yeah, they most definitely have no choice. The door is open for anybody's opportunity, and I feel like the younger guys are taking that opportunity and trying to do something with it.
So I'm sorry, but I'm right now, if I'm a Cowboys fan, I'm a little concerned about the receiver position. CeeDee's going to be a guy.
No, and Dak shows a good face, and I mean maybe internally, maybe he and McCarthy and the OC Kellen. So okay, guy, hey Dak, we weren't going to ask you to do any more than we want you to, but you may have to. You may have to run out of that pocket and buy some time and trust your receivers. And I mean, they did a walkthrough today, which is kind of weird because on the schedule it says a mock game. It wasn't a mock game, because there were no referees. There were referees yesterday. They were doing down and distance, 2-minute timeout, TV timeout on the big speaker. So they were doing game-like scenarios. But from what we were expecting, these guys were like in shorts and jerseys. And like I said, it was all walkthrough. Yeah. And practice was cut 45 minutes. We were like, well, what's up with that? We didn't talk to McCarthy today. We talked to the OC, the DC, and the special teams, which, okay, that's cool. Okay, Mike could be out at 1:45, and it got to be like 2 o'clock. We're like, well, what's going on? I probably didn't hear the official word. He's not going to be here. I'm pretty sure others did if they did, but still, we're asking like, well, and like Arthur said, my photographer, man, maybe something happened. Somebody got. I don't know what the deal is. So that was kind of weird. That was a weird practice for them. I wasn't for sure what was behind that. Maybe it'll come out tomorrow. I won't be here to get it, but I'm changing my beat. I'm going to the red zone back in East Texas. That's where I'll be. But I'll have to keep it up with
football, baby.
There you go. There you go.
So that's interesting. And that, another piece that's interesting, because I think Dalton Schultz, the tight end, he was available for you guys. A lot is always made of the franchise tag, and it can be interpreted in many ways. Dalton Schultz, who's been extremely productive, you were around him, and this is what he was talking about, because I think this is the first time that he's actually discussed all that, because I think that was back in March.
Yeah, it's going to be the last time, as he says. Yeah,
and this, I like his attitude, I like his work ethic, but this is, there's nothing really to read in between what he said. It was black and white.
At the end of the day, I get it. It's business sometimes, and I've had my emotions about the whole thing, but I'm focused on getting better in this training camp, helping my team win.
So Coleman, I think what he's saying is his agent and the Cowboys, they try to come to an agreement of a long-term contract.
And Stephen Jones even echoed that. In fact, Stephen Jones said it first. He said it on Tuesday of the opening presser that we tried to get a deal done. We tried, and his guys tried, and we just couldn't come up with something. So, we'll tag him and go from there. Should he have a breakout year, he'll get what he's owed. And as I said in one of my reports, is all they can do, and I'm just echoing what he said, is just be who he is, because that's how he got here in the first place. He was being him. And just continue being you, because you put yourself in position to get the franchise tag. That means you are worthy of a deal. They just don't know what kind of deal they want to give you. and that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
I think
he's disappointed though. He is disappointed though.
Because I think that was explained the best way imaginable when you said he's worthy of it, but they just don't know what type of deal, because a franchise tag is always perceived to be negative.
Yes, it is. It is. Unless you're Kirk Cousins.
You like that? Oh my God. Kirk Cousins. God.
The king of being tagged. The king of being tagged.
Oh,
tag, you're it. That's his nickname. Tag, you're it.
God. Well, you look at Dalton, I mean, especially the last 2 years. I mean, we're looking at 1,400 yards receiving, a dozen touchdowns, and what? I'm helping to do my math here, but that's 151 receptions. That's a lot of usage of the tight end.
And you toss in splitting time with Jarwin, Blake Jarwin.
Yeah.
Now Blake's out of the picture. You know, he's not there anymore, but he was, you know, I think he came on strong late, but he was splitting time with him.
I call Dalton, he's very Jay Novacek-esque.
Yes. Yes.
That's the guy. It's pretty impressive watching him. So
that would do it.
Everybody watching, follow us on all of our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, even now TikTok. I'm still trying to figure that out, Coleman. I'm showing my age.
When you dance, I'll join TikTok.
That may happen.
Don't TikTokers dance?
They dance, they cook, they mimic, voice sync, lip sync.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to come up with some creativity.
See, when I did that stuff, I was called a class clown. But now it's expected of you. I was ahead of my time, man.
In many ways. You put the spotlight on Southern Illinois like it's never been. Hey, final words as you leave Cowboys camp and head back to your home base in East Texas.
I think they're in good shape. I think they get to find out what their identity is. Offensive line. I mean, Dak may have to become a more mobile quarterback. They're going to have to patchwork that offensive line for a little bit until, like, you know, was his name Tyler Smith from Tulsa. He was having a good camp, having a great camp. I think their center is a question mark. I can't pronounce his name, so I'm not going to try. But you know, so they're. But I think they have the talent to camouflage the weaknesses until it gets off the ground. And usually it takes it to me. I think it takes the team about week 4 or 5 to find out just who they are, you know. And I think that's what we're going to find out with the Cowboys. Who are they? They don't even know yet. And we'll find out soon.
I forget the first preseason game. That's got to be coming up.
It is. You know, just for the Cowboys or just in general? Well, the Hall of Fame game's coming up.
Hall of Fame game is this weekend, I think.
Yeah, Hall of Fame game is this weekend. I'm trying to think here, because now the Cowboys leave later this week for Denver. They're going to work with the Broncos, which should be a pretty good, interesting situation since Randy Gregory is there. You know?
That's right. That whole deal. That was bizarre how all that went down.
Yeah, it is. And again, I think we talked about it before. It was all about the language in the contract, and I mean, it's like, okay, we can change the language. Yeah. It's not etched in stone. If you really want to be here, it's not etched in stone. But he is a big loss. There's no doubt. He's a great gain for Denver. Big loss. So preseason, you got the Jags and the Raiders, and then what you have in week 2, Giants and Patriots on August 11th, Titans and Ravens, Falcons, Lions, Browns, Jags. That's a 4:00 Friday afternoon game. Imagine that. You got the Jets and the Eagles, Cardinals, Bengals. What's his name? The kid, he's got COVID, I think, or tested positive. You know, all that money don't keep you from getting sick or getting.
Oh, this COVID protocol continues.
Right, it does. I'm interested, and we're about to go, but San Francisco deciding, Jimmy Garoppolo, you got to go. We're going to go with Trey Lance and take our chance. And that's what they're about to do. And I don't know anything about Trey Lance. He's been in the league. He's been in the league 3 years, 4 years.
Trey Lance, that's North Dakota State, right?
Yes.
So I think what they're looking at they spent money on him, and they want to get a return on investment.
Yeah.
But let's see here. 3rd overall in the NFL draft. So they're paying him that money.
Yeah.
He's a 2-time national champion with North Dakota State.
They got a really good program too. They got a great program.
And they have defeated some FBS programs along the way. He's a good quarterback, but I think they're trying to get that ROI, man.
Yeah, they are.
Come on.
You're right. Absolutely.
That's what it's about. MC,
yes,
man, this has been fun, my brother.
Well, listen, man, I've enjoyed it. I've looked forward to it, and we'll find another project to talk about, dissect, and solve that team or this world's problems with, man.
We probably need to jump on one of these episodes that we do for coming up in 4th week of August, where we start talking Longhorns.
We can do that.
Yeah, you did that
because I'm interested in the quarterback situation.
Yeah,
I'm interested in the marvelous, my man,
Overshown.
I'm interested in him. I'm keeping up with him. So yeah, it's time for me to get. In the years past, they were just in my rearview mirror.
Right.
But I want to see what they're going to do. I mean, I like the running back. I love his style.
He's on.
Yeah, he can play. The guy can play. So I would be paying more attention to them. And of course, I got to tell you, East Texas is loaded with Aggies and Longhorns, and I need to try to cater to them. And so, we'll keep an eye out on the Longhorns.
Michael Coleman, KLTV sports director, and my mentor from long ago. It wasn't that long ago. That was fun. MC, man, be safe. Traveling back to Texas. Much love, and to your guy, your partner in crime there from KLTV.
AC, Arthur.
AC. Man, that's a fine American right there. Everyone needs to meet AC because that guy.
You talk about a buck strong farm boy.
Oh, that's country boy at heart.
Oh, he's Jethro in blackface. That's what I tell him all the time. Dude, you just Jethro, man. I'm just telling you.
He just needs to find some Texas tea bubbling up. Like oh my God, he'll be set. He'll retire.
Oh, for sure, my man, for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, partner, take care.
Hey, for MC and the OG Man Cave Boys, Hardball Hars, Big Mike, and Coach Mo,
Joe Saxton.
This is lifetime Cowboys fan Jim Saxton with Jim Saxton State Farm. You want insurance knowledge and old school service? Give us a call.